Here's your wrestling news for November 1st, 2021. And your headlines for today include major apprehension for ROH wrestlers, former WWE champion returning to action after injury, AEW wrestler is concussed, out of action indefinitely, Jim Ross offers apology for comments during Dark Side of the Ring, former WWE wrestler hospitalized said she hit rock bottom, why Becky Lynch broke her heel character, Big E reveals the one WWE idea he turned down, why Matt Riddle was made fun of by WWE management, Jon Moxley shoots on his reaction to WWE handing him a script for his promos, New Japan makes big play to sign Bronson Reed, Cain Velasquez explains why he was released from WWE, and more. We are starting today with Ring of Honor, who announced last week that they'd be going on hiatus as the company reimagines their brand ahead of a hopeful return in 2022. Not only is ROH shutting down their shows after December's Final Battle event, they're releasing all talent whose contracts end this year, with tons of wrestlers now looking elsewhere for work. Ring of Honor have insisted that this hiatus is only temporary and that they plan to be back in time for April's Supercard of Honor event, but it appears that the roster isn't convinced. PW Insider report that during a Zoom call this week between the roster and company COO Joe Koff, several wrestlers asked Koff to be honest with them and called upon him to say that the promotion was over if it is indeed closing for good. ROH isn't gone for good, at least that's what Koff is claiming, but they will be going away temporarily, and the company's weekly TV deal with Sinclair will continue by running best of specials. We'll have to see how everything turns out in 2022, but despite ROH's claims that this hiatus is a good thing and will lead to a more fan-oriented product next year, some on the company's payroll aren't holding their breath. Now, Sheamus has been out of action since September due to a recurring nose injury, which originally took place in May thanks to Humberto Carrillo. Having surgery in June, Sheamus re-injured his nose against Jeff Hardy on the September 19th Raw and underwent another surgery on September 29th. Now, the former world champion is back once again as WWE's upcoming tour of Europe will see him face Finn Balor in singles action. This tour will kick off this Wednesday and will see Raw, SmackDown, and NXT superstars all compete, and we hope Sheamus can avoid another nose injury. AEW news now as Thunder Rosa joined the company earlier this year after impressing fans as the NWA Women's Champion. Many pegged Rosa to win All Out's Casino Battle Royal until Ruby Soho debuted, and fans won't be seeing Thunder Rosa for quite some time. During a recent vlog, the former champion revealed that she's out of action due to a concussion, but didn't state when she sustained this injury. In a follow-up, she said that she was on her way to Dynamite to see if she can get cleared, as she obviously wants to get back in the ring. It's unknown just how long Thunder Rosa will be out of action for, but concussions are something the wrestling world take very seriously these days, and we hope she'll be cleared to compete once again very soon. During Vice's Dark Side of the Ring episode on the plane ride from hell, viewers were horrified at the actions that took place on the 2002 flight. The worst offense on the flight was from Ric Flair, who reportedly forced a flight attendant to touch his genitals, but received no punishment from WWE. As the then head of talent relations, Jim Ross would have been the man responsible for punishing Flair, and during the show, defended the lack of action against the Nature Boy, claiming that Flair was a made man. In the latest episode of Grill and JR, however, the AEW commentator reflected on his comments and offered an apology, as well as explaining his thoughts on the show's creators Evan Husney and Jason Eisner. "I like those guys. They're two creators, hardworking young guys, but I didn't like the show. I thought it was way too negative and impacted too many people negatively. I thought I've offended a lot of people by being on that show, which I apologize for." JR isn't the only person who came off bad during the plane ride from hell episode, as Tommy Dreamer, who praised Flair and defended his actions as a gag, which someone got offended by, was later suspended from his various roles. Dreamer has since returned to Busted Open Radio, but hasn't returned to Impact Wrestling since, as it goes to show to think before you speak, especially when it comes to such a dark chapter in pro wrestling history. We've got some unfortunate news now as indie wrestler Jazzy Gabbert has been hospitalized. On social media, Gabbert shared a photo of herself in the hospital and explained how she had hit rock bottom. Saying that she's in the hospital needing surgery, she added that she's had to give her puppy Lucy away for a few days, in addition to her car breaking down last month. Paying for a car and paying rent will be especially difficult, as Gabbard explained that her savings have now gone thanks to being hospitalized with a positive test, and this all comes just 1 week after she lost her job. A 20-year veteran of the ring, the German wrestler competed in Japan quite extensively before appearing in TNA in 2014 and later signing with WWE. Competing in the Mae Young Classic, Gabbard would later join NXT UK, but left in 2020 to form her own promotion, Sirius Sports Entertainment. In her post, Gabbard said the plan is for Sirius to have a show on February 20th next year, and after having so many setbacks in such a short period of time, we're wishing the very best for the alpha female and her new promotion. Since returning to TV at SummerSlam, WWE has done all they can to make Becky Lynch a heel, despite the man still having support from her most loyal of fans. Lynch's heel turn hasn't been helped by the recent title exchange controversy, nor the reports that she is loved backstage while Charlotte Flair is hated. It's certainly hard to hate Becky Lynch, and recently the Raw Women's Champion proved it by breaking character during an autograph signing. In a video that's gone viral, Lynch was all smiles as she met an emotional young fan, and the clip was quickly shared by the WWE on Fox Twitter account. It turns out that Becky and the fan met years prior, something that Lynch remembered, as the fan and her father gifted the man a Pearl Jam box set at a previous signing. Lynch may be a heel on screen, but she still means a lot to a ton of people, and this latest clip shows why it's hard to boo the Irish superstar. Speaking of champions, WWE Champion Big E can be seen each week on Raw and has had an incredible 2021 so far. Holding the WWE title, Intercontinental title, and Money in the Bank within the same year, Big E has established himself as a top name in the company, but that doesn't mean he agrees to every idea the company has for him. In an interview with the Breakfast Club Power Hour 105.1 FM, the WWE Champion was asked about if he'd ever refused what creative had for him, and there was one idea Big E flat out wouldn't do. Years ago, they asked me if I could do a pec dance. A dude called Chris Masters used to pop his pecs rhythmically and do a lot of silly nonsense, but I was like, I ain't doing all that. Over the years, Big E and his New Day comrades have done plenty of comedic spots that other wrestlers would have turned their noses at, but dancing his pecs was a step too far for the reigning WWE Champion. More from Raw, as Randy Orton and Riddle have been a highlight of the Red Brand in 2021 and currently hold the Raw Tag Team titles. RK Bro came around after weeks of teasing on screen, and it turns out the idea for the Odd Couple tag team came from Riddle himself. Speaking to Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg, the original Bro discussed his first pitch for teaming with the Viper, which didn't get the reaction Riddle had hoped. I mentioned it probably a month or so before it actually happened. I mentioned to some of the writers, some of the boys in the back, and they all proceeded to laugh at me. I brought it up, wishful thinking. I got laughed at, and I was like, oh, that'll never happen. Riddle added that it was only a couple of weeks later, when both he and Randy Orton didn't have opponents, that WWE put them against each other, starting what would eventually become RK Bro. Winning the Raw Tag titles at SummerSlam and retaining the championships at Crown Jewel, RK Bro is showing no signs of splitting up, much to the delight of Raw's resident Bro. In 2019, Jon Moxley left WWE and the name Dean Ambrose behind, a decision that clearly worked out for him. Working on the company's main roster for close to 7 years, Moxley quickly joined AEW, where he enjoys a much more relaxed environment working for Tony Khan. One main difference is that in WWE in recent years, superstars are forced to recite promos word for word, and during an interview with Busted Open Radio, Moxley said things would have turned ugly had he been forced to recite what was written by someone else. At this time, I didn't know there were scripts. I would not have reacted very good. I would have reacted poorly, to say the least, to being handed a script, and then I would have been deemed hard to work with and a bad attitude and yada yada. It would have all just probably gone. After leaving, Moxley blasted WWE promos for having too many unnecessary words, and although he's grateful for his time in WWE, don't expect to see the former world champion, who's having a great time in AEW, ever return to Vince McMahon. In August, WWE released Bronson Reed despite having a main roster call-up in the works for the former North American champion. Reed, who now goes by Jonah Rock, hasn't competed since, but has been talking to a lot of promotions and has caught the eye of one company in a major way. Fightful noted that New Japan Pro Wrestling has made a big play to sign Jonah Rock, but they're one of several promotions which have shown what Fightful called major interest in him. In addition to Rock, New Japan has shown great interest in Buddy Matthews, the former Buddy Murphy, who was also released by WWE this year. With the Forbidden Door seeing wrestlers from New Japan, AEW, and Impact appearing across all three promotions, fans could soon see Jonah Rock on multiple shows. But for now, it looks like New Japan will be the one who gives him a contract. And we're ending today with Cain Velasquez, who briefly joined WWE in 2019, but his run was short-lived. After losing to Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel 2019, a knee injury kept the former UFC heavyweight champion from competing. And in an interview with Ariel Helwani, Velasquez said he hadn't got surgery on his bad knee yet. "I just wear a brace with it. That's kind of what I've been doing. No, I didn't get it fixed. I've been able to do a lot of stuff with it still. I've been grappling, I've been wrestling, I'm still wearing the brace." Released by WWE in April 2020 despite signing a lucrative contract, Velasquez explained that the company had plans for him, with one plan seeing him, quote, "do something with some of the Lucha guys." But as positive cases across the US continue to rise, the company couldn't use him. Now Velasquez is gone from WWE and will return to pro wrestling next month for AAA. And with things slowly getting back to normal, perhaps Velasquez could one day step foot back in a WWE ring. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.